In Proverbs 31:27, it says, it's talking about a wife. She looks well to the ways of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Then the next verse says, her children rise up and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praises her. This is good news, that there's something we can do about this, that we can actually not eat the bread of idleness. We can be diligent in taking care of our household, and our husband and our children start singing our praises. So this is good news. And here's something else I know, that when you create a peaceful home that is not cluttered, that is not messy, there aren't, 20 million dirty dishes all scattered across the house with mold growing on them and all that kind of stuff. When you have kind of like a tidy, picked up, peaceful home, everyone in the house is more emotionally settled and calm. Children are less likely to act out. Husbands are less anxious. So if you want a peaceful, calm, stress-free household, we have to change our patterns of thinking. So we're going to spend the rest of the time getting some tips from a couple seasoned moms and wives, and then some younger moms. In fact, we're going to start with Becky, who I know from being in her house is kind of on top of the cleaning thing. And she's a young mom, come on up, Becky, who has 2 young children. And so it's like, okay, is it possible with 2 young children to actually keep your house tidy and clean and organized and all that? So we're going to get a few tips from Becky first.
I have 2 young children and I have 2 dogs, big-sized dogs, so I would just say the biggest thing for me is purge and organize. If you haven't used it in 6 months, you don't need 3 bottles of hairspray. Throw it away. And then organize. You can go to the dollar store or Walmart or another place, and they sell bins, like square bins, long rectangle bins for $1 for a 3-pack. If you look in every drawer in my house, it's lined with bins because everything has a spot. Because then my children know where things are and they aren't asking me. They can just go directly to the drawer. Another one is, for me, get my family involved. My daughter and I sat down about, a long time ago. We made up this list. This is everything that needs to get done a day. This is our house list. I have another list that includes my errands, things I have to do outside of the house, but this is our house list of everything that we need to get done. And it's just simple things like empty the dishwasher, wipe off the counters every day, vacuum 4 times a week. We have dogs. I would vacuum more, but sometimes I have to. Grocery list. It's just some small little things, but then I remind myself, okay, I still haven't made my grocery list. I need to do that. And my grocery list carries me out throughout the whole week. Again, when I get my daughter involved, I don't use chemicals to clean my house. I just use simple vinegar and water because it works just as good as Lysol. Actually, it works better because it doesn't kill the good bacteria. And then my daughter is able to wipe down the counter, and I don't have to worry about her putting it in her mouth. But so that helps. And Kason can help. Kason loves to vacuum. He loves to wipe stuff down. My little 2.5-year-old. And another one, Travis. Travis actually asked me to what couple of chores could he do. So he cleans the dishwasher out. So the dishwasher's clean in the morning, so then I can put the dishes in it as I go throughout the day. So my sink is always clean, and then I'm not overwhelmed. I make the 2 things I do every day for my family is I make the beds and I clean the counters. There's actually been a study that I read probably about 6 months ago that said if you clean your counters and make your beds every day, the stress level cuts way down in your house because there's something about a clean bed and a clean kitchen counter. I don't know, it just does something to you.
So here are some tricks to getting your house organized. Always keep your entryways clear of clutter. If you don't have an entryway closet, I don't in my home, either front or back. And I mean, it's wonderful if you have closets because that really hides a lot of clutter. But if you don't, then just like put up hooks to hang coats or buy something to put your shoes on, like either small shelf or baskets, or I have a copper boot tray at the back of our home, and that really works well for my husband's shoes. So I just wanted to show you a few photos from my home. Just showing you just some ways to keep it organized and less junky. So Debbie's going to show them. So that's our. Also, what's really awesome if you can organize your house and have multi-uses for your room. So this room, for instance, is my daughter is 27, has moved out of the home, but this is her bedroom when she comes in town. It's also my craft room, my office, and my guest room. So And all those, I use a lot of cloth baskets, and I mean, doesn't that look streamlined and not junky? But in those baskets, you cannot believe how much junk is in there, because it's all my, file folders, envelopes, bows, ribbon. I mean, it's just, but anyway, I just love baskets. So, and then Debbie, can you show the next one? So this is an example in in my pantry. I don't have, again, a closet, or cabinets. I just have a shelf drawer. So again, I use these baskets. I mean, and it's really streamlined, but that first one has all these old socks in it, and the other one has different cleaning supplies and things. So, and those, you can find those everywhere. They fold up, and I bought those at Kmart. Use rain checks too. You'll save a lot of money. Those are like $2.25, and normally they're like $7. So really find your sales.
I wanted to just share some things that I've learned along the way about making your home welcoming, and I'm not talking about just to guests. I'm talking about making your home welcoming to your husband, welcoming to your children, welcoming to you when you walk in the door. And really, the number one thing that makes your house welcoming really truly is making your house peaceful.
Always have
Making your house peaceful is very, very welcoming, especially I think in our culture where everyone is like running like crazy and they're stressed out and everything. And if you can create this peaceful atmosphere in your home, it's very, very welcoming, and people want to be at your house.
What does that mean, peaceful?
Okay, well, let me talk about what I mean by peaceful. And well, first of all, probably lots of yelling probably wouldn't be peaceful, but what I'm really talking about is when you walk in and a house is very, very cluttered, and stuff is on, and every surface has stuff all over it, like the kitchen counters, the end tables, the coffee table. Any spare surface is just filled with stuff, and then there's stuff strewn across the floor. It's actually very stressful for anyone when they see that. That's why people have anxiety when their house is a mess like that, because it's very stressful. It's not a peaceful, settled feeling because there's just too much for your eyes to even take in. I've even learned that beyond clearing off the surfaces, which is really helpful to creating a peaceful environment, if you can just create some clear surfaces, it right away will start creating a more peaceful atmosphere. Like let's say, you've got a kitchen table that's in view when you walk in your person's house, and you've got your kitchen counters are in view, and you've got your coffee table in the living room in view, and your end tables, and maybe a bench at the entryway. And even if you can clear off two things, like the coffee table and the dining room table, already it's more peaceful because it's not so busy. It's not so crazy busy in your eyesight, basically. Your walls. Lots of people, not you guys, I'm sure, but lots of people, like if there's an empty space on a wall, they put a picture up. Or let's say there's a big wall, like this whole wall. Some people would put a picture there, and a picture there, and a picture there, and they might have just 6 large pictures across there, and that's busy. Your eye doesn't have any place to relax and rest. You're supposed to group things so that you have empty space where your eye can rest. And it's kind of the same way for your house surfaces. Are there any empty spaces where your eyes can rest and not be overstimulated? Or do you have stuff everywhere? All the kitchen counters are filled, the dining room table's filled, the living room furniture is filled. Your eyes can't rest. There's no peaceful places for your eyes to settle. Does that make any sense what I'm saying?